Somebody else suggested this, and the moment they said it, I don't know, again, if you know your X-Men deep enough, but there was a suggestion. Are you familiar with the Shadow King?
No, not
The
even
Shadow
slightly.
King, I don't know the Shadow King super well. I think he's, for one, a super racist caricature of a Middle Eastern man, who goes back, like, he's he was considered Professor X's original arch enemy, who I
Okay.
think Professor X thought he defeated before he even formed the X-Men, like back when he was a young man traveling around in Cairo, that kind of shit.
Okay, so this is like
Um,
retcon stuff, not literally
No,
early
it
Shadows.
but it is really old stuff at the same time. Like
Okay.
it's stuff that showed up in the X-Men comics back in the 70s.
Okay.
Something like I should have looked this up before I said any of
That's
this,
all right.
but nevertheless. So I'm wondering there, like, yeah, what if that weird little potato-looking guy with yellow eyes, what if that's not one of David's personalities? What if
What if
that's a
it's real?
psychic from outside of his mind who knows that David is super powerful and has entered his mind and is masquerading, or like David can't tell the
That'd be cool.
difference between
Well, yeah.
a psychic from outside his mind and one of his own personalities, or he doesn't even know that stuff.
Well, that seems to be somewhat of a theme. I think that's maybe the one area of the show that faltered for me, and that could develop more throughout the season. Is I felt like I wanted to push like a what is real, but everything seemed a little clear cut. But maybe that'll get blurrier as it goes.
No, I mean, that was what I took away from it as well, is there is one of those, like, dream within a dream type things where it better be as good as it seems.
Yeah.
Because this feels like a show of, like, oh, I can't wait until this is done.
Right.
And because the second and third viewing are really going to be
Yeah.
informed to what's going on. And as long as I enjoy every part of the journey along the way, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, even if it's not what I think. It feels methodical. Like it feels like in the same way you mentioned Westworld or like True Detective. It feels like an HBO show in the way that it feels like they have a plan.
Oh, and I'm positive that they do. Again, this is the thing I didn't say is this is Noah Hawley. I'm probably saying that right. I want to say Hockley, but I know there isn't a K. But he's the dude who did Fargo season 1 and 2.
Oh shit!
Which have you seen?
No, but I know how highly you think of them.
I loved it. I just fucking love that show so much. So I do.
Maybe we'll watch them tonight.
I'm writing him a real check. I mean, they're each like 10 hours long. So yes, watch them both tonight.
No, I said I'll watch some tonight.
No, watch them both tonight.
Watch them both tonight. Okay, I've got time.
Condense them into 10 hours.
I'll watch them at 1.5 speed.
Oh, they're so good. So, yeah, so I do, like, those shows, they know how, like, those are clearly being written like movies.
Yeah.
Where, like, maybe they're fleshing a little bit out episode to episode, but they know the story they're telling when they sit down to tell it. And I entirely get that feeling from this. At least for the first season, I know, or I can tell it's going to be an 8-hour movie.
I mean, it's Fox, and like, say what you will about them, or FX or whatever. It's not CW, so it won't go for 50 seasons, hopefully.
No.
And those shows are fine, like, if people like those shows. I don't hate them.
It's weird to imagine what Legion... Again, we're taking so many guesses from one episode right now.
Yeah, of course.
And it really is hard to tell, like... Oh man, I was so... And they showed that one line in the trailer as well, but it's so of like the one time they were like, you might be the most powerful you've ever seen. The dude who sat... I guess the two dudes. The dude who sat across the table from him asking all the questions, who I thought kind of looked like a young Paul F. Tompkins.
Do you remember the TV show, The New Adventures of Old Christine?
No.
Right, that's the end of that anecdote.
Right. Was he in that?
He was. He was a brother, and he was pretty good.
Him and then there's the guy who doesn't get any lines, who has the like one frosted over eye.
Guy, right?
I really like both those guys.
I think he's credited as the Eye.
Of course he is. Maybe he's Cave Carson with the cybernetic. Oh no, that's DC.
That is DC.
Too bad, Cave Carson.
Not today. Do you think he'll be? How many like recognized characters do you think we'll get? Do you think any?
None.
None.
I mean, that's why I'm super psyched about the idea that the Shadow King might be in it, because he's one of like that's even
I
really
should
cool
say-
because the Shadow King is an Xavier villain, so using him as the villain in a Legion show that doesn't acknowledge Xavier as like there's a nice
There's a cool piece.
as,
Yeah, it's
as
a
George
je ne sais
Lucas
quoi.
might say, it rhymes.
Ugh, it's like poetry.
Yeah. And also, I hate sand.
Not even necessarily. I don't mean like Wolverine or Gambit, but even just like a named character from the books.
I will be shocked if we get any. And that, like I say, like
And
the
I'm fine
Shadow
with that.
King, and if we do get any, it's that weird combination of it's going to have to be really well done, or it's going to be kind of fucking stupid. Like
Yeah,
the character, I can't touch people if I reverse with them. There's a weird of like,
it's Rogue.
yeah, that's Rogue. We all know
Mhm.
Rogue. That's and at the same time, if they'd called that character Rogue, this would be annoying,
Mhm.
or it wouldn't make any sense, or like there'd be too many. So but I am curious to know what they are going to use, because I mean there is like you don't have to fucking call it hey, I just want to do a TV show about a dude who is schizophrenia and telepathy. Like you can do that TV show if you're going to use Legion. Like I think they do have a plan.
Yeah.
I think it is going to get X-Men-y as it goes.
Well, oh, sure. I mean, even at the end of this episode, you see, like, I guess I don't think we mentioned that we're going to just talk about the whole thing, but here we go.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, at the end of this episode, you get that escape scene, and the one dude,
Oh,
with
yeah!
telekinesis is just throwing people, no problem. So that sort of indicated to me that David must have much more going on if that
Oh, yeah.
guy appears similarly powerful.
No, I think we're gonna get a truckload of. I'm really hoping this is going to kind of be pushing the edge on like the X-Men of such a soft serve of like, here's what their powers are. There's 3 or 4 of them. I'm really hoping this is going to be a little crazier than that. Where
I do
they're like,
too.
no, we're in a fucking world where people have crazy powers. We're not going to stop and explain it all the time. I mean, I didn't entirely notice it the first time through, but like they fucking barbecue dudes. When David's in the water and he sinks into the water, and then there's the flash. Like, yeah, one of those people who hits the water, you see his charcoal skeleton. Like they fucking killed that dude.
Oh yeah.
Give your mouse a little. Just make sure. Yeah. So I like there being stakes.
Yeah, no, oh yeah. Those people, like, their families are sad for sure.
And I thought as well that like, okay, so the show has this really. Somebody else was mentioning who the fuck's that director?
Wes Anderson.
Yes,
I-
it has a very very Wes Anderson feel. There's something else that it reminds me of too, but I can't place it off the top of my head now.
The good one I heard was that it's as if a man had multiple personalities and they were Wes Anderson and David Lynch.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they're something this show has already done super well is it conveys how do you use cinema to
It's very artistic.
explain mental illness and something like telepathy or telekinesis, or like what are the psychological implications of that.
Mhm.
It's one of those things like yeah, how do you shoot somebody who's on drugs so you can show what the actual psychological effect of being on drugs is like. And I thought this did a really good job of like, oh, everything feels creepy and disjointed, but there is that like, again, there's a lot of like Stanley Kubrick to it as well, of like everything is balanced, and in a weird way, like the yellow and the orange of the jumpsuits of the crazy people reminded me of X-Men costumes.
Oh, I kind of like that. I didn't think about it. I thought of like almost like Prisoners.
Another thing I wanted to mention is, have you seen The Prisoner?
What do you mean, The Prisoner?
It sounds very silly. Have you met the Muffin Man? The Prisoner is an old British TV show.
No, I haven't. You
man.
know, I love them.
The Prisoner is considered to be one of the larger mind fucks of a TV show. It's all about this secret agent It opens with a secret agent being abducted from his home, and he's put in a village. And once he's in the village, he doesn't have a name anymore. He just has a number, and he is routinely tortured with drugs and different psychology experiments so they can find out what he knows. And you never really know if he is being kidnapped by the enemy, if he is being kidnapped by friendly forces and they just want to know like what he knows and if he's willing to give it up, and you never really find out. Like, the show is just this big mind fuck the whole way through. And as well, if you try to escape from the village, this giant balloon sphere named Rover will bounce towards you and hunt you down and then absorb you like a cell, and you as it collapses around you, and then you wake up somewhere else. We're going to watch some scenes from The Prisoner when we're done here. We're almost at 20 minutes.
Oh, cool.
So we have officially gone twice as long as it feels like this episode should be, and we should
and I still have so much more to say.
I know. We'll go for it.
Okay. I just want to bring up, you mentioned it sort of with the jumpsuits. The set dressing, the wardrobe. I love how it's super vague as to when this takes place.
Yeah.
It's something small that you don't see very often, but I love it. Like, there's the one scene where the interrogator has like what appears to be a tablet, like a touch screen.
It's neo 70s futurism.
Yeah, something
which is my favorite thing in the world.
I know, like unspecified future. Did you ever see Her?
No, but
It's quite good, but it has a similar sort of thing.
There's a lot of stuff and I mean, I'm not surprised they tried to do that with Legion. I mean, I feel like it's that weird thing where in the X-Men universe, it's probably Deadpool is the thing it's going to be the closest to, like, not in tone or anything, but just in terms of, like, well, just sort of like how Deadpool doesn't ever acknowledge what it is, or like it hangs out with the X-Men, but it doesn't really, it doesn't get into it of like, hey, how old are these? Or like, yeah, obviously none of that works.
Yeah,
and I almost feel like Legion's going to do the same thing of like, hey, how about we just don't answer any of those questions?
How
about you go fuck yourself?
I'm totally fine with that. Legion, that's a tagline.
I really like Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, she's fine. I don't know, I'm sort of soured on her, I feel.
She's one of those people who has a thing, so if it gets overused or used wrong, I don't know, like, she's a very specific type of performer.
Yeah.
And I do... I think the thing that got me super excited is that they killed her off and kept her around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how that goes.
And I mean, shout out to the cast, like her, but especially the main fella, I don't know his name, for just like handling mental illness in a very like believable and respectful way.
I definitely really like him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that's
I weirdly related to him as a character, and I feel sort of uncomfortable because he seems like he's got a lot going on.
No, I can kind of see that. Like, I think I had a lot more empathy than I would necessarily have had otherwise, and like even for it being of just like a dude. Yeah. I'm like a dude.
I'm a David.
I also experience dude things.
I also have multiple different haircuts throughout my life.
I want to have more to say, but I feel like that might be a lot. I almost feel like what we just did was a pre-Legion episode where like half of this was me talking about what I know about the character previous to the show and stuff, but then we kind of dug into the show. So
that's fair. So this could be a couple things essentially.
This is almost like a pre-Legion discussion and then a post.
Tell us in the comments below what you think we should do with this video.
If you're watching this, tell us in the past what would have worked better.
I don't know how YouTube works.
Seriously though, contact us and tell us how to be better people.
That'd be great.
I'm pretty sure that's what YouTube comments are for, is you go into them and you give people specific instructions on how to be a better person.
I'm on board with that. I've spent a lot of time in YouTube comment sections, and I'm definitely think that's what it's about.
I guess that's why you can relate to David. Unhappy.
Oh, you're right.
All right. Well, I think we just talked about Legion a whole bunch.
Okay.
That's been Hank and Andrew yakking it up on the old yak machine. I can't find a way to make that sound natural.
No, that was good. I liked it.
All right, good. And we'll be back for more Legion. There's a part of me that really, we're listening to each other talk about Legion, so we could call it Legionnaires.
Oh, that's where I was hoping you were
Yeah.
going.
And then if it became like a thing that we couldn't stop doing, then we would have Legionnaires' disease. And we're gonna cut.
All right,
That's
that's
been us. Yeah.
Bye bye.